share your overall thoughts on why you feel it's important for you to do this? You kind of touched on it a little bit in your speech.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, again, I guess the older you get in the profession, you think back to the times when you were a young coach and you visited different colleges, different pro teams, and you think about the coaches that spent time with you to teach you and help you develop as a coach. And so when you have the opportunity to do that for somebody else, it's rewarding, and it's good for us. It's good for us on a lot of fronts because, in a couple of weeks our players are going to be back. We haven't been coaching for a few months, and it's good practice for us. But really the bottom line is it just brings back a lot of good memories. I can think back to, numerous, 2-3 times a year for a lot of years. I'd go to various places, and people were just generous and kind to me, and you want to be able to pay back.
How many coaches' clinics would you see you attending?
Oh boy. Well, yeah, a lot of clinics, and then sometimes I just go to a pro team where maybe it wasn't a clinic per se, but I go visit a specific coach, and he would take extra time, stay at the end of the day, let me go watch practice. That's what we said to the guys here. Hey, you want to come watch practice? And we're always here to help. We're here to, you're welcome. You're coaching football in South Florida, and you're making a difference in the lives of the young people here. So it's important.
What one thing above anything else do you want the coaches who are here to take away from the time they're going to spend here?
Yeah, fundamentals, I think, really is the big thing. I mean, everybody has their system and their scheme, and there's a lot of smart coaches. I don't care what level of football that you're talking about. There's a lot of smart coaches everywhere. So, I think obviously we'll get some plays and schemes up there too, but I think most important is how we teach some of the basic fundamentals, and obviously with young players, you're obviously concerned, as we are with NFL players, about teaching the game safely.
What was your initial reaction when you were presented with this idea?
No, I thought it was great. I was, I've been wanting to do something like this, and it just seems like sometimes you're so busy. You got this to do, and you got the draft meetings, and you got this free agency. But it's a great location. It's a great venue. This thing's set up. Nicer than our meeting rooms are, and it should be good. I mean, the learning and the opportunity will be outstanding this week.
I don't want to monopolize all the questions. Sure.
Yes. Okay. How much is too much when it comes to practice at the youth, high school, and college level?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, I was talking to some of the high school coaches earlier, and I think they have 20 practices this spring that they're allowed to do with their players, which is roughly about the same, give or take a couple that we can have in the NFL. And so, there's certainly strong commitment to develop good sound football players here in South Florida, which is important. And the coaching is good, the instruction is good. But there, you have to have balance. I think there's, at some point in time, it's good for kids to play other sports, play basketball, play baseball, track, whatever it may be. So I think there has to be balance, like there has to be in anything in life.
How much of the fun factor should be incorporated into the practices at the different levels of playing?
Well, hey, football is a challenging game. It's a competitive game. Hopefully the fun is the chemistry and the relationships that you build with your teammates, your coaches, your fans. All that's plays a big part of it. High school, the student body. So it has to be challenging to prepare the players because it is a demanding game. But at the end of the day, you want to enjoy it. If there's no enjoyment out of it, then they should do something else. Maybe get a job after school or something. I should tell my kids that.
Who, if anyone, comes to mind when you consider the things that you've learned about coaching now? Who comes to mind? Who taught you how to coach?
Well, there's been a lot. I've learned from so many different coaches. I had worked for some great head coaches throughout my career. I went to different camps. I watched Chuck Noll coach, the Pittsburgh Steelers at their practices. Hall of Fame type coaches. So I've been to a lot of different campuses over the years in college and many pro camps as well. And you just try to learn from all of them, and some that people wouldn't know have been very, very helpful to.
Do you recall any specific piece of advice or tidbit that you may have picked up at a coach's clinic or visiting a team that stuck with you from that moment on?
I think you just have to be yourself. I mean, you have to know, as I said to the coaches here, we all have to, why are we in this profession? Why do we coach? I think I can't necessarily give anybody else a reason for them to do it. I know why I do it, and I think it's important, for all coaches to understand this is a great profession. You have a tremendous opportunity to impact, people regardless of what level you coach at. So, but what are the reasons, that you do it? And, I don't think any of us really got into it for the money or the financial aspect of things.
Coach Philbin, how important is it for coaches, especially youth league level, to become certified?
Well, that's a new thing, and certainly since I broke into the ranks. But I think it's great. I really do. I think it makes total sense. I know my wife's a nurse, and I know she had to do continuing education things. Medicine changes, technology changes, the game's different than it was. I'm not going to tell you how many years ago that when I got into it, but yeah, I think it's really smart. It's good common sense, and we want people working with our young people that are qualified and competent.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks.